First, for all our viewers out there that might not be familiar with your story, can you just explain how did this all come together initially, even getting into Bitcoin?
Even getting into Bitcoin, that's a very long story. It all started in 2013. I had a IT company in the Netherlands, and at that moment, I got a guy from a school that needed to do like this subject in my company, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want to do? I'm too busy. I don't have time for you. He's like, you have a computer shop, and I want to build a Bitcoin miner. I'm like, what are you going to build a Bitcoin miner? I want to prove that we can make money with electricity. I didn't know what Bitcoin was by that time. So I was like, okay, whatever it is that you want to do, just grab the stuff out of my shop and build whatever and I will give you a good grade for your assignment, and let's see. So he started to build the Bitcoin miner. I started to Google in the evening, what is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin doing? Of course, I ended up in Silk Road at that time. That really interested me. I was like, wow, I can buy all kinds of cool stuff with Bitcoin. And then I started to read the white paper. I really took the time because I need to do this presentation on the school with this guy. And then I started to understand, wow, this is like the internet boom that I really missed. I missed investing in Google or Amazon and all the problems. And maybe I should do something with this. And then it took 2 weeks, and this miner was up and running. And the guy says, yes, we earned some Bitcoin. The case is proven. I made money with electricity. And I'm like, what? So I went looking to his miner, and he hooked it up to a pool. At that time, you could hook up to pools, and he was mining with a group of people. And I was like, so how much did we make? Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's like a part of the 50 Bitcoins. At that time, it was still 50 blocks. And I said, so do you think Bitcoin goes up in value? And he's like, yeah, it will probably go to $100 or something in the future, maybe even $500 or $1,000. So we were, okay, so if we mine like a lot of these Bitcoins, it would be. So start building more. So I invested $40,000 at that time in Bitcoin mining equipment. So this guy started just to build one whole office full with the mining equipment. And that's how the first part of the Bitcoin adventure started. Of course, with all the problems, the heating and all the shit. But in the Netherlands, we had luck. We had a lot of weed growers. So all the weed growers, they know how to handle the heat. so they built these machines that blew the heat from the room into the company. So the company was heated by the miners of the bit. So it was really this first adventure for me in Bitcoin. And in 2014, at the end of the year, my father called me and he told me he was sick. He had cancer. He was diagnosed with cancer. He had only 1 more year to live. So that is when I started to rethink life a little bit. And I lost track of the Bitcoin industry. I just said to the guys, run the company. I went living home with my father again and everything. The last year, you just do everything for the last time. You go the last time, Easter, Christmas, watch football together, all the stuff. We just went living back home again. And when he passed away in 2016, January, I need to take care of the funeral and all that stuff. And that moment, it took 3-4 months. I had a huge burnout, I couldn't do anything anymore. And I had to run that company. I also had an online casino in Malta. So there was a shitload of employees depending on me. And I just didn't have the power to give them the attention that they deserved. And so I hired managers and I told my wife, there is only one solution.